I love December, and not just because it's my birthday month or because we have a whole bunch of holidays, but because work actually slows down for a little bit. It's a time where we actually get a little bit of breathing room in our lives. And in addition to spending time with family and vacationing and celebrating, I also like to take advantage of that slower workday to do some things that I don't have time for the rest of the year. So that's what I'll be sharing with you today. Hi, I'm Amy Canfor Stewart, and you are listening to The Modern Manager. Every week, I share tips and strategies to help you be a rockstar manager with a thriving team. So before I dive in, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a video. December can feel like a whirlwind. We have so much work we have to get done before we take vacation. We have final performance reviews. We have our year-end holiday events and parties and all that stuff. But then something magical happens. Emails slow down, meetings start to trickle away from the calendar, and we find ourselves with a little bit of breathing room that we don't usually find in our work week. This quieter period isn't just downtime. It's actually a golden opportunity to help set ourselves and our team members up for a really successful new year. So I'm going to share 5 things that I will be doing, 5 different strategies for how you can make the most of these extra hours in your day. Up first, declutter your physical and digital spaces. If you are anything like me, your desk might be covered with sticky notes and random papers and all kinds of doodads and things that have just ended up on your desk throughout the year and have never made it off your desk and into their proper home. That kind of physical space can actually be really distracting when we are trying to get our work done. So this is a great opportunity to just clear off your desk, get a new space for yourself. So when you come in on January 2nd, you have a fresh start with a clean desk and clean visuals. And that can be throwing away old documents that you just don't need anymore and more old sticky notes, but make it a little fun too. Maybe you need a new pen holder or some other kind of desk organizer to help set you up for the future. I know for myself, I will be getting some new wrappy things for all the cords. So maybe some bright, fun, colorful ones, because my cords under my desk are so tangled and it drives me nuts, and I've just never prioritized fixing and cleaning them up. So that will be my project for this year when it comes to the physical space. But it's not just physical spaces we need to clean. We also need to tidy up our digital spaces. There's just so much digital stuff that clutters up our workspaces, and it's time to clear those out. So when it comes to your email, my favorite trick is to erase everything from 3 months and older and just archive it. Because the reality is, if I haven't dealt with it at this point, I'm probably never going to deal with it. So just, if it's older than 3 months, archive it. And then every other email I go through and I quickly decide, do I need to delete this because it's done with? Do I need to take an action on it? And if so, can I do the action now, or do I need to add it to my to-do list? And if it's a newsletter, can I unsubscribe because I'm really just not paying attention to this, whatever I've subscribed to before, and just clean it up? It's so nice to come back into January with a clean inbox. Now, when it comes to your task manager, it's the same thing. I have so many tasks that I keep intending to do, but maybe don't get around to, and some of them eventually become irrelevant. So go through each of your project plans and all your task lists and clean those out too. Get rid of tasks you no longer need, add in tasks that you do want to prioritize, and just straighten it all up. Same thing with my desktop. There's so many things saved in my downloads folder. There's so much stuff just scattered on my desktop. This is a great time to clean up those files. Any other kind of digital spaces you have, just declutter. And remember, it's not just about the aesthetics. It's not just about the visual spaces. It's actually about the mental clarity that comes from having clean and clear workspaces, both digitally and physically. Next up, take some time to do deep, focused work. It is so nice to have uninterrupted time on our calendars. And this is the perfect opportunity to dive into something that you don't have time for in your regular work week. Now, to really take advantage of this time, you have to block it off on your calendar and decide ahead of time what you're going to use those few hours for. It's not enough to just have a plan to fill in those extra hours. You want to be really intentional about it. It could be a project you've been putting off that you really want to get to, or it could be something fun you've been wanting to try, but haven't really felt like you had the time to prioritize messing around or experimenting. For me, it's going to be going through those small tasks that I keep saying I need to get done and just always end up at the bottom of my task list. So my plan is to spend a few hours just cleaning all those tasks up and getting them off my plate. So whatever you decide to do, make sure that you make a note of it in your calendar event so that when the time comes, you don't have to think about what you're going to do. You know exactly how you're going to spend that time, which allows you to make the very most of it. Next, this could be a great time to adopt a new tool or a new habit. Maybe there's a software you've been thinking about trying, like Asana for task management or Notion for organizing everything in your life. Whatever it might be, now is a great time to experiment and explore and see if there's something new you want to add into your productivity or your collaboration practices. And if you think you're going to use a tool with your team, it might be great to find a buddy, someone else on the team who wants to explore that software with you or try out that new habit with you to see if it's something that could work well for everyone. And if software isn't your thing, that's okay. Maybe a habit is what you want to be building. I know for myself this year, I will be working on adding in a end of day work routine. I've gone through phases of my life where I have been really good about my end of day routine, and right now is not one of them. I love my morning routine. It is so powerful, and I'm ready to reintroduce an afternoon routine that can be just as effective. So I'll be spending some time thinking about and experimenting with different ways to use the last 15 minutes of my workday to help set me up for success for the next day, as well as help me transition from work life into my home life. Another great way to use these extra hours is to learn something new. This is the perfect time to watch that TED Talk you've been meaning to watch, or read a book, or listen to a podcast. Whatever it might be, this is a great opportunity to focus on how you can invest in yourself and set yourself up for the new skills, the new knowledge, the new expertise that can help you moving into the next new year. If you're like me, you might have a long list of things that you want to read or watch or listen to, but if you don't, that's also okay. Think about what skills you want to learn or what information might be helpful, what expertise you want to gain. Is there something going on in your industry you want to learn about? Or is there a new skill that you could take a quick online course for? Remember, when you invest in yourself, you're also investing in yourself as a leader, which supports your people even more. Lastly, the end of the year is a great time to plan ahead. Of course, we've already gotten our project plans and our goals and other things started. At least a lot of us have. So if you have that, great. But there's probably a whole bunch of other things that you're considering doing that you haven't actually gotten out of your head and you haven't put onto paper yet. So this is a great time to really think about the priorities for your first quarter. I love to do this by creating a brainstorm of just everything I want to get done, what I want to learn, what kinds of tasks I want to get done related to my business that may or may not be directly related to my bigger picture business goals, just anything that's on my mind. I think about how I collaborate with my team and if there are things I want to try and do differently. Are there processes that we want to change? Are there meetings that we no longer need to have or new meetings that we want to add? Just getting all of that out of my brain onto paper and then prioritize it to what's realistic. What can I actually commit to doing between January 1st or January 2nd when I come back to work and the end of the first quarter? And then I like to take those things and put them into my to-do list and put meetings on the calendar and block off time so that those activities get the attention and the priority that I'm assigning to them. Taking that time now will help you set yourself and your team up for success, because once we hit January and we're all thinking about New Year's resolutions, it's kind of too late in the sense that we are back into work and back into the rush. So use the quiet time at the end of December to do that thinking where you have some mental space and you have some clarity and you can really take a step back and think about your priorities. So that's it. Those are the 5 ways you can make the most of this slower holiday season. So whether you are decluttering your mental or physical spaces, focusing on a couple of projects or big things that you've been wanting to get to, learning a new tool or building a habit, learning something new, or just simply planning for the future, I hope that you will use at least one of these strategies to make the most of your time to set yourself and your team up for success as the new year rolls in. For more tips and tricks and strategies on how to be a rockstar manager with a thriving team, go to themodernmanager.com. And while you're here, please subscribe to this channel and check out my latest video.